Joining us now is News Nation's senior national correspondent Brian Enton, host of Hidden the True Crime podcast, Laura Matthias. Also joining us is News Nation legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Sara Azari, and Francie Hakes, former federal prosecutor and first national coordinator of the Child Exploitation Prevention. Sara, you're a defense attorney. Can you do that? Can you not put on a case and then suddenly in closing arguments say, it's not my client, it's her husband?
Yeah, I mean, you can, but it's terrible. I mean, this is one of the most terrible strategies and closing arguments I've ever seen by the defense, because number one, when you make promises in opening statement, you got to keep those promises. In opening statement, they said, focus on Lori. And then in closing argument, they said, it's all about Chad. And also, I expected the defense to be, it's him, she's a follower, he's the leader, the cult indoctrination and manipulation, but there was zero evidence of it. And I expected at least like a cult expert in the defense case who could set that up to then be able to argue. That's where I think they really failed. And so they did, do a decent job of explaining the lies. She did it for Chad, but then they left a lot of bad facts hanging. Like, why did she say those things to her son and her sister? Those two confessions. You know?
And by the way, I'm not sure after yesterday hearing all the hot and heavy, texts with all the fire and heart emojis. I mean, some of them were R-rated, for crying out loud.
Right.
To then get in front of the jury and argue, well, she's not into him. He's not as good looking as her dead husband.
Right. That hot factor thing doesn't really go that far. And also the emotion that the defense attorney showed, playing on hopefully some of these jurors' religious tendencies or beliefs. That, I mean, I'm hoping he read them correctly, and then, because we saw Murdoch's lawyer cry for the victims, and that didn't really work either.
Francie, you